President Putin had called you in his press conference an experienced person. You famously told him he didn't have a soul. Do you now have a deeper understanding of him after this meeting?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One of the most bizarre moments I've ever seen. Yeah, that was very, very odd. And remember, this guy was all about restoring normalcy to the presidency. Let's bring in the historians. Craig Shirley, Reagan biographer, presidential historian, and Doug Wead, presidential historian, author, and former advisor to George H.W. Bush. Welcome, gentlemen. I was not impressed at all. Quite frankly, I was almost horrified by his behavior. Doug, you first.
Well, you know, what's interested me, Greg, often on your show, we compare to Reagan. And he was so mad and angry at the media, later snapping at that CNN reporter. And I remember Ronald Reagan, he'd go to the helicopter on Friday to go to Camp David, and he'd look back at the media and he'd wave and his eyes would crinkle and he'd smile. Yes, his face would say, "You love me and I love you." And watching that on TV, I'd think, what's going on here? The media hated Gerald Ford. They hated Richard Nixon. They hated Jimmy Carter. Why do they love Reagan? And then I went to the Reagan White House, went out on the South Lawn, saw in person. And he walks to the helicopter. He smiles back at America. "Oh, I love you and you love me." This time I could see the media and they were snarling and spitting. They hated him as much as they hated any of the other presidents. He didn't reflect it. And that crossed my mind when I saw Joe Biden and he snarled at the media and spat back at him. That was a real mistake.
Really? And they protect this guy all the time. Craig, stand by. I want to show that moment where he really goes nuts on this reporter.
He's confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President.
Yeah, I'm not confident in changing behavior. What the hell? What do you do all the time?
So
when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was, let's get it straight. I said what will change their behavior is if the rest of the world reacts to them and it diminishes their standing in the world. I'm not confident of anything. I'm just stating the fact.
But given his past behavior has not changed, and in that press conference after sitting down with you for several hours, he denied any involvement in cyber attacks. He downplayed human rights abuses. He even refused to say Alexei Navalny's name. So how does that account to a constructive meeting as President Putin framed?
You don't understand that. You're in the wrong business.
That was harassment. That was so insulting. You're in the wrong business. Not even Donald Trump would say that to reporters. He'd say you're all fake news. But he wouldn't say you are worse than anybody else and you should be, Anyway, Craig, your thoughts.
Joe Biden doesn't have senior moments anymore. He has senior hours. Really, he needs to take a swig of Metamucil and pull up his Depends because this was a disastrous performance. One of the worst performances I can ever recall by a U.S. president, either here in the United States or overseas. He confused countries in Asia and Africa. He called Vladimir Putin a killer. I mean, he may be very well me, but it's very undignified, unpresidential for a president to call another world leader a killer. Macron had to yell in his face so much so it looked like elder abuse in a nursing home. And all in all, it was a completely disastrous time for Joe Biden.
Wow, Craig, I haven't seen you that fired up since we saw that scruffy dog a while ago. Here's Joe Biden actually not making sense. We have it slugged Biden gibberish. And I think, quite frankly, this is totally accurate. Let's go take a look at that.
And I've said before, and I apologize to repeat. I didn't. I just tell you the mistake of a national security advisor. I'm leaving out a lot of people here. I apologize. I'm going to get in trouble. But anyway, we'll get back to that. But there's a lot that is happening.
Yikes. And, the Secretary of State's looking at him. The other person's like looking straight ahead because it's exceedingly awkward. It's basically sad. And Doug, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know about this guy. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, the troubling thing for me is the same people that he's counting on to feed him the words to prop him up. So he says the right things and he looks reasonable and intelligent. Other people are also apparently deciding the strategy. That would explain how he went into that disastrous conference and left it empowering Russia and empowering China, in my mind. I mean, they shut down the Colonial Pipeline, the Russians, and he gave away Nord Stream 2. He gave it away before he has the meeting. This was just shocking to me. Strategically, I think this was a very bad weekend. So it's not just that other people are giving him the words. Apparently, other people are running the White House.
Yeah. Gentlemen, as you know, it's now Juneteenth. It's a national holiday. We didn't have much of a national conversation about that. I guess in 1865, General Granger, and this is new to me, honestly, announced that the slaves were free in Texas, announced the emancipation. You know, word traveled not so fast back then. And now we have this national holiday. Barack Obama was interviewed on one of the morning shows. I want to show you how that all started. Take a look at this, how it's framed and how they greet each other. Take a look.
And now to Michael's one-on-one with former President Barack Obama, talking about race, resilience, and finding hope again. It's all part of ABC's Juneteenth special. Take a look.
President Obama, happy Juneteenth.
It is good to see you. Happy Juneteenth to you.
Thank you.
So, listen, national holidays generally bring Americans together. This seems to be not one of those holidays. Now, I recognize, look, we're three Caucasians, and some would say, well, what the heck do you guys know? Shut up. Well, sorry, it doesn't work that way. We are Americans. We didn't have an adequate discussion about this nationally. As recently as a year ago, Joe Biden had no clue what Juneteenth is, and now he's virtue signaling at the highest of levels. Craig, what do you think?
Yes. Well, look, all American holidays are for all Americans, whether it's Memorial Day or the 4th of July. But this is not a holiday for all Americans. It's only a holiday for a few Americans. What it is about Joe Biden pandering to his base, not reaching out and trying to unite us as he lied during the campaign and said he would try to do. We're contracting presidents' holidays like Washington and Jefferson, but we're expanding other holidays. It doesn't make any sense. We already have Black History Month. I mean, how much do we need to divide Americans even further?
Okay. Now, listen, I want to show you guys. You're both Reagan aficionados and books, Craig. Have you heard about the documentary, The Reagans? I saw it on a plane. It's a 4-part documentary. I believe we have the trailer. Let's take a quick look and talk about it briefly.
We have it in our power to begin the world over again.
The Reagans reinforced a myth of America that hurt many, many people.
The country is headed into the worst recession. They see the First Lady redecorating the White House.
Unfair criticism, you dust off. But as long as the people buying the tickets liked it, that's all that counts.
We're all the heroes of our own stories. They were just a little better at it.
He wasn't just a Manchurian candidate. They believed it.
God bless you, and good night.
So, gentlemen, here's the deal. I actually like this documentary. Yes, it's a fake news hit job. Clearly, you heard the commentary, but it doesn't matter. They don't lay a glove on the Reagans because we see footage of Ronald Reagan. We hear interviews that we haven't heard before. We see the connection between him and Nancy. They can have liberal commentators all day long yelling and screaming. It doesn't alter the image. It actually enhances my appreciation of Ronald Reagan, and I highly recommend it. Craig, actually, you're the Reagan biographer, the big one. What do you think? And it's almost
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
I'm going to disagree with you, Greg. They approached me about being in the documentary, and once I found out what it was about, I said no. But I talked to other people who were in the documentary, and they regretted being in it because they felt they were duped. Maya, that actress or whatever she is, she has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She's lying. Reagan didn't hurt a lot of people. Reagan helped a lot of people. And the fact that he left office with a 73% approval rating, including millions of Democrats and independents, is proof that he was the true unifier and not the fake unifier Joe Biden pretends to be.
So here's the deal. It's like Michael Deaver used to say, though. Remember, he would call up Sam Donaldson and said,
yes.
Sam, that was a great report. And Sam would be like,
Yes.
what are you talking about? I ripped them apart. It doesn't matter. The visuals were beautiful, and people appreciate what he's doing. They can tell. And you're right about Maya Wiley and all the nuts in the documentary. They're all saying nasty things, but you can't cancel and rewrite a man like Ronald Reagan, in my opinion. Gentlemen, I'm sorry, that's all the time we've got. Doug Weed, thank you. And Craig Shirley, thank you. To be continued, okay?
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks,
Take
Greg.
care. Have a good weekend.
You bet. You too, and we'll be right back.